Hey, welcome back to my channel. I'm LaKiesha, and today we're going to talk about XAUUSD, which is the gold market. And before we get into the charts, I took this trade earlier today. I got a small profit. I posted that on my Instagram story. If you want to go ahead and follow me over there, I am at Chart Confidence. Okay, let's go ahead and start this off like we always do by clearing all of the drawings. I actually had to draw my levels a couple of times this week just because there were some moves that I was trying to catch. I got chopped up yesterday, but today was really good. So let's go ahead and start on the weekly time frame. All right, great. So if we look at, I'm just getting rid of these alerts because I don't need these anymore. Okay, great. So if we look at the weekly time frame here, let me move this over, we can see that this week ended bullish, a nice strong bullish. So that tells me that for this upcoming week, there's a possibility for a price to continue pushing up. And that could be obviously really good if you're in gold buys. And we can see this momentum that was pushing. Actually, this is more like a couple months back at this point, but some really strong momentum up. I'm definitely looking to catch that move, or at least some of those moves inside of this overall trend. So it's good to see this close of a strong bullish candle on the weekly time frame. So let's go ahead, as usual, go down to the daily time frame to see what other information we can pick up from this particular market. And as we see, I'm going to start drawing my levels now, but if we draw a level right here on the daily time frame, just right above all these rejections right here, and if we draw another level, the level that forms support, I'm going to tell you what this is in a second. The support level is at 2284.99. And just keep in mind that this is all a zone. It's not necessarily an exact price. So depending on what chart you use, it could be a different number. So this zone up here for my resistance level is 2397.36. Once again, all a zone. But basically, that was one of the biggest things that stood out to me once I first got to this daily time frame, just seeing the fact that there was a really strong resistance here, especially because we have all of these rejections here, 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 here. And then on the downside, we do have a support that was formed. We have another support that was formed in the past. And then we also have a nice rejection here. So definitely looking like a really good zone to me. And let's go down even further in the time frames just to see what could possibly shake out for next week. All right, so let me reset my chart a little bit. All right, cool. All right, so here we see prices pretty much in this range right here, but as usual, there are some moves that we could possibly catch inside of the zone. So one thing that is sticking out to me is, and I'm gonna switch to lines now, but this one thing that is sticking out to me is this level right here, specifically at 2369.79, so rough area, but basically, the fact that we have all of these rejections here, we have 4 really strong rejections, that is sticking out to me. And then on the opposite side, this right here. So as far as like immediate trading or anything like that, this will be an area that I will look at. So let's go ahead and make these levels a little bit slimmer. This resistance level right here. And as I'm looking at this, you can see that there are some peaks. So here's a peak right here, here, and then right here. So basically what I'm looking at here is just finding the line of best fit. Basically, where does this little box or this rectangle touch the most candles? So basically you're looking for the line of best fit. And essentially I'm going to place it right here around 2397. And then something else that I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing on the downside, and we may actually draw some more levels just because I'm seeing some other stuff. Now, I don't anticipate for price to come down to these levels down here, but of course with gold, anything goes. So let's go ahead and clean up this level really quick. So I like this around this level here, around 2281.8. So that is looking good to me. And then I'm actually going to take this and make a copy. And then just kind of looking at my levels, especially since we're on a higher time frame like H4, I do see a resistance level right here. Let me drag this over. resistance level around 2200 flat. Now, if you look to the right, you will see 2208.94. The closest number that's also a psychological number is 2200 flat. So we're going to keep that right there. And then on the other side of this, we're going to place another level right here, mainly because we have, actually, let me zoom this in. So mainly because we have all of these kind of touches in this area. I'm actually going to bring this up a little bit because we have, this looked like a little fake out, and then we had some rejections all through here. So this is looking really good to me. And I think that's probably really all the lines I'm going to draw just because I don't want a whole bunch of lines on my chart. And this level is around 2150, so a really nice psychological level. So let's go back up here. Before I get back to that, let's go ahead and go down to the H2 time frame. I'm going to scoot this in a bit just because we want to be able to see all of this price action. So if we go up to this level, this is still looking good. However, I am going to move it up just a little bit so that way it covers these wicks over here. And then you can see that price touched this level right here. We do see a gap area, and that's totally fine. You will find that on your charts that not all of the candles will perfectly touch, and that is okay because price is in a zone. So if I look at this, it looks fine to me on this time frame. We may have to make some adjustments on H1. This still looks good. This still looks good, although, you see, actually I do like it mainly because, let me zoom in here, because of this area right here. We have all of these rejections. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 really nice rejections, and then we have an 8th one, this one almost 9, 10, so still looks good to me. So let's go ahead and keep that. So now let's go ahead and go down to the H1 time frame. So as you can see, we're getting a lot more data. These candles are getting smaller, and I have to adjust a lot more. So this level is still looking good. However, I am going to draw, let's see, how do I want to draw this? I am going to draw a level right here around 42.28. Mainly because this is the highest point price has reached inside of the market. And say hypothetically, if price, was to come back up to this level, this could be a potential level where price rejects. Mainly because, oops, let me get rid of that. Mainly because price rejected here in the past, or it could push up beyond it if there's enough volume. Just never know, so I definitely want to have this mapped out. So let me go ahead and squeeze in my chart just so that way I can drag this box out a little bit more and just kind of have this in the back of my mind when I come to this particular chart. Let me drag it out quite a bit. Okay, great, that's looking good. Let's go ahead, right click and reset the view again, just so that way we can see some actual candles. All right, so that's looking good to me right there. This, I'm not really worried about that because this is higher than that. If, for instance, this was higher, then I would be marking off this level, but it's not. I'm going to come back to this area because I want to talk more about that in a second. Okay, this still looks good. We got the rejections. It still looks nice. It's not going to be perfect. You just kind of want to get a general sense of what price is doing in those areas. So this box, I actually am going to make it a little bit slimmer, and then I want my box to cover the majority of these wicks. We have a little fake out here. Let's go across. I don't think there's really any other price action over here because price was trading much higher than this level. Yeah, it was trading much, much higher than this level, and that still looks good. Okay, great. So now let me go ahead and zoom into this area so that way we can come up with a game plan for this upcoming week and basically showing you what I will be looking for this upcoming week. So going back to this level, I kind of got ahead of myself a little bit, but coming back to this level on the H1 time frame, which is actually a really strong confirmation time frame. With this time frame, though, you are going to have to let the trade run and just manage your risk accordingly. I know sometimes it is hard to wait. I know I get that way sometimes, especially shortly after the market opens, but you just gotta distract yourself, do something else, and just let this thing play out if you got an entry on the H1 time frame. So this level that I drew before, at 2307. That's still looking good to me on the H1 time frame. However, I do want to move this other level up to 2375.5, and that's this really nice psychological level. Another thing that I see, let me get this other line right here. Okay. Another thing I see is a support, and this is possibly my trading range right here. Let me make this bigger. Mainly because I'm mostly looking for buys because the trend is generally up. We saw on the weekly time frame where price closed a nice bullish engulfing candle, and that means that price has the potential to continue to move up for this upcoming week. So I definitely want to have my bias set to buys. Even if price look like it sells, I'll be mostly looking for buys unless it breaks some really major structure levels that we'll talk about here in a second. So let's go ahead and draw our arrows. So basically, this is going to be my trading zone right here. So if price came up to this level and a really strong candle closed up above here, then I would be looking to take buys from this level all the way up to this level at 2401. So roughly the zone is about 240 or 250 pips, which is a really, really nice range, especially since when I trade, I'm mostly looking for 20 pips initially anyway. So it's more than 10 times what I'm looking for. So amazing range. And then on the downside, theoretically, one could take let me go like this. Theoretically, one could take a counter trend trade from here to down there. And I'm not looking for that because, like I said, I'm mostly looking for buys. So I would just let this move happen and then look for some sort of signal around this level for buys. Because you see what happened before. Price, let me go over here. So price came over here. It formed a little consolidation. Let me make this a little bit bigger. It's a little bit hard to see. Okay, great. So over here, price made this consolidation. It bounced around a little bit before breaking this level and then continuing up. It tried to, oh, actually, I think I remember seeing this. Yeah, this was yesterday morning. And this is where I kind of got chopped up in this area. So I was like, wait, this looks familiar. Anyway, so price, like I said, chopped around. I got chopped up and then I had my 2 trades and I was done. But today it made up for that. So really, really good trade today. But anyway, you can see price broke up here. It did break the low of this H1 candle, but then it did push up quite a bit. I missed this entire move, but it's okay. You're going to miss moves, and that's just part of the game. But anyway, someone could take this sell all the way down here. And then the only way that I would be looking for sells actually is below this level right here. Mainly because this is major structure right here. We have this, and this right here area is 2283. So we have this right here. Oh, what is happening here? So that was weird. So anyway, we have this area right here. And then we also have this really big rejection or really strong rejection from here. So then if we look all the way over, let me go all the way over, we can see in the past, you know what, do I want to move that? You know what, I actually may move this level. Let me see how it looks. This is how charting is going to be. You'll see something and then you'll want to just move it around just to see how it's going to look. So let me actually move this really quick and just see if this is a better fit. It does look a little messy. I don't like that. So I'm going to go ahead and move that back to where it was. Okay, great. So anyway, so I thought maybe I want to move it, but I don't. But anyway, I do want to make this level a little bit thinner and just make sure that these are still in alignment, and they are. And mainly because I saw this area right here, it came up, but then it came back down, but then it came up. So it was kind of choppy in this area, and this was over almost a week when it was doing this back and forth. But that's old price action, and we want to focus on the new. But just looking at the past, it does help us get a sense of what could potentially happen. So anyway, like I said, I wouldn't be interested in sales unless it closed below this 2383 area or 2283 area. And yeah, and then it could go so much further down. But that would be my plan. And I would want to make sure that these wicks right here are cleared, especially this wick right here. So let me see if I could just draw a horizontal ray. Okay, great. So I wouldn't even want to take a trade until underneath there, just to play it kind of extra safe, just because gold is one of those pairs or one of those markets that are really volatile. And I do take extra precautions when I'm trading gold. And so far, it's paid off. So I want to continue that trend. Okay, amazing. So, and then this, I wouldn't even trade this zone at all. This would be a no trade zone for me, at least in here, be no trade, and then actually created a template for me. Okay, template, no trade zone. Okay, good. So, yeah. Okay, cool. And then, like I said, I'd be mostly focused on buys. And then, say, for instance, if price continued to go up here, then I would be looking for this as the ultimate TP or profit target, unless price went somewhere up here. And obviously, when price breaks out and it's all-time highs in the market, we have no idea. But basically, this is my game plan for the upcoming week. If you like this video, go ahead and subscribe and like this video. Leave a comment below if there's a particular market that you want to see, and I'll catch you next time.